Socialization sucks, and it always is better to have the capitalist private for-profit business model over a socialized model. Okay, let's take something that is socialized, like our roads, and let's imagine a world where instead of going with the socialized model, we went with the private for-profit capitalist model. So just to make sure that we're on the same page, a socialized model of the roads is currently what we have, where you have taxes pay for construction of the roads for all people to use. So what would a private for-profit business model look like? Okay, so let's roll back time and pretend that no roads exist, okay? And so we're going to have to start building roads under the for-profit private business model. So under this business model, you're going to start seeing these private companies pop up, private road building companies. Now, who's going to be able to start a private road building company? It would be people who have a significant amount of capital to start, right? Not every single person is going to be able to get into this new business sector because they just don't have the capital to start up a company, right? But even though not everybody would be able to start up their own road building company, you would have enough that there would be dozens, if not hundreds of different companies popping up and starting to build roads, which then they would naturally compete with one another to provide the best road for the customers, okay? However, even though there is competition, I just want to be clear, because this is now a for-profit business, you as the customer are going to have to pay every single time you travel on that road. And you're not only paying for the construction of the road and the maintenance of the road, but you're paying to line the pocket of the capitalist or the owner of the road building company, right? Because why would anybody start a road building company if they weren't going to make a profit off of it, right? So you're going to have to pay not only for, again, the construction and the maintenance, but to line the pockets of the capitalist or the owner of the private road companies. Okay, so next let's imagine that all the roads are built, okay? We have a nice, healthy network of roads. Not all roads are created equal, and some roads are going to be naturally prioritized over other roads, right? The roads that lead to destinations that are very popular or roads that are constructed in very highly populated areas are going to have more traffic than those that are built in the middle of nowhere, right? So the companies that built roads in high traffic areas are going to be able to charge more money. It's basic supply and demand, right? The demand is really high, and they're the ones who own the roads, so they're going to be able to charge higher and higher fees. And this is going to create a divide between people who are rich versus people who are poor, because the people who are rich that are driving on the roads, they're going to be able to pay the fees for the most direct route, right? On these very high prioritized roads. They can pay the incredibly high fees because money's not a problem for them. But if you're a poor person, the poorer you are, you're going to have to try and find the cheapest roads that you can possibly go on, which is going to probably add double, triple, or quadruple the time to get to your destination. And not only that, for the poor people, you can't just use the argument of, well, if you don't like it, just don't go on that road. In our society, particularly in the United States, it's a very car-dependent country with no walkable cities. So working class people need to go onto the roads to get to work, right? To make a living for themselves. It's not an option to not go on the road. So they're going to have to pay the fees no matter what they are. And what's going to happen naturally over time, right? Because not all roads are created equal, some companies are going to be more profitable than other companies, right? And the more profitable companies are going to go ahead and buy out the less profitable ones eventually, until they have you have a handful of companies owning 99% of the roads. And when you get to that point, where they own the majority of the roads, they're going to start neglecting the roads that aren't so profitable for them, because why bother, right? They're making bank on the roads that are making them a crap load of profit. So they're going to start neglecting the roads that aren't profitable, or even the roads that don't provide any profit at all. So to sum up my private for-profit road business model here, what does it look like for you in the end? You're going to have a handful of people who are the owners of the most successful road building companies, owning 99% of the roads, and they're making millions, if not billions of dollars a day off of something working class people need to survive and function in society. And they get these millions and billions of dollars just from the fact that they had enough capital to start the business to begin with. They didn't even build the roads. Who built the roads? Working class people built the roads with their labor. And this is what the world would look like with a private for-profit road business model. And to end, I just want to mention, I want you to think about this privatized for-profit business model of something that people need to survive or function in society, and think about what is currently privatized, like things like our utilities or healthcare or food, right? Some things probably should not be privatized and for profit.